Okay. Welcome to Crackers and Milk. This is your host, David. I'm joined by Mike and Jacob. We are going to be talking about 27 dresses, starting Katherine Heigl and James Marsden. And Jake has our synopsis.
Perennial bridesmaid, Jane, always puts the needs of others before her own, making her the go-to gal whenever someone needs help with wedding plans. So when Jane's younger sister, Tess, snags the man Jane secretly loves, Jane finds herself questioning her role as a wedding junkie for the first time in her life. Meanwhile, a handsome reporter sees Jane's unusual story as his ticket off the bridal beat.
Yep.
Okay, Mike.
The reason I couldn't live without this movie. So Sheena and I were married in 2006. This came out in 2008. It was one of, there was probably other movies, romantic comedies, but this one we watched together for the first time. It's always special when you watch a movie. Everyone knows that. Don't watch that movie without me. I didn't watch it first time. So watching it with her was fun. Just the whole, if anyone doesn't know, I mainly do, well now podcasts are the highest recorded thing I do, but mostly weddings. And I wasn't filming weddings at this time, but now that I watch it, I love it. And I love Malcolm and how he's so cynical. And it's true. The wedding business, I'm part of it. I charge a lot of money for weddings. That's how it is. Yeah. And just his whole thing about it now. Yeah. So watching it now than back then I just enjoyed it because it was romantic and sweet and they fall in love. But now watching it I go, oh yeah, cakes are too much. And I love how Katherine has the connections with the cake guy. And that's how it is in the wedding industry, dude. You have connections and you use them like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was telling Dave too, is the first 45 minutes of this film for me, not that great. It's when Katherine realizes that he is who he is. Yeah. When she's like, wait, you're the writer? You didn't tell me that, well, you know. That thing, but when that whole relationship starts between her knowing who he is now, it's so fun. And it kind of reminds me of Hitch. Yeah. That's kind of how it is, the same premises. Yeah. Oh, you're my evil twin that died. Yeah. Anyway, so I couldn't live with that because it reminds me of my wife. That's why.
Okay. Nice.
Oh, another reason I love it, and I couldn't live without it. Every time we watch it, and they do Benny and the Jets, I think of Jacob and his cat, Benny. Every time.
I do have a cat named Benny.
And the Jets. Tell us if you get another cat, what's that name?
It's going to be the Jet.
The Jet. So cool. Yeah. That's
and it won't be just Jet, it'll be the Jets.
The Jet. Yeah. That would be so awesome. You need another cat just for that.
I've got too much cat hair on me already.
Okay, so what did you think of the chemistry and character development?
I thought they had good chemistry together.
Yeah.
I really liked because it was showing them building chemistry, the part where she's showing him all the dresses.
Yeah. Yes.
And he's taking pictures of her.
Cool.
And then she's talking and he snaps that picture of her and the moment's kind of over. But
right.
Yeah.
That's a good.
And do you think with that moment when he did that he took that picture as more of like,
that wasn't for the article.
I really like you.
Yeah.
And I just want, because you're so pretty right now, I'm going to take this picture.
Right. She gets uncomfortable after it because you can tell she's like, oh, this is not okay. Yeah. You're taking that picture of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a good transition.
And like I agree. I think Katherine and James really did. Their chemistry was really good together.
Yeah.
The only question I have with this one is, as I was watching it, the statement came, the question came. I wondered why was Katherine Heigl a thing? like, I know she did Ugly Truth. She did a lot of romantic comedies, and she seems like a good one. But like at the same time, it was like, I don't understand why.
She was in Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, I know that, but that was the only reason.
Mm-hmm.
You think? Because she's an okay actress, but it was just
I think I don't know why she's still not in movies. I thought she was pretty good in everything I've ever seen her in.
I heard it was more of like personality.
I heard
with
that
her.
too.
Whereas like she's kind of difficult to work with.
Yeah.
And she was in Knocked Up too. I think that was her biggest movie. Is Knocked Up.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a funny
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
And so like
It is.
it's to me that's like as I was watching the movie that's what I thought. And then the dresses were that dress montage was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Where he's like, no one does Gone with the Wind themes. She's like, yep, 3 of them. And you're like, what? 3? Wow. So yeah.
Wait, Jake, didn't you one of your favorite lines, right?
Yeah.
At the very bottom.
Yeah.
What color
Or
is
is that?
that?
Vomit. And then from the same scene, just a little bit later, I am a very good caulker. He records it, likes caulk.
What spoke to you about this movie? Besides your wedding, the wedding stuff spoke to you.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because you're in the
I'm
wedding
in the industry. Yeah.
industrial complex.
Yeah.
That's what you are in.
Yeah, and it's actually very. What's her favorite thing of going to a wedding? Anyone remember?
Yeah, it's the groom's
Looking at
face.
The
Looking
groom.
at the groom, right? That is actually a thing. Like when you see that, when you go to when I film weddings,
Yeah.
and you get to see that face, it's that.
pretty cool,
It's
yeah.
fun to watch them see the bride. I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
What about you, Jake? What spoke to you about this movie? What did you like about it?
I like how she sees what's happening with her younger sister and the man she loves,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just driving her crazy.
Yeah.
so fake.
So fake. Like, all of a sudden she's a vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the part I don't like is when she does the picture slideshow.
Oh, yeah, you don't like that?
Oh, that is so awkward.
It's so awkward.
So awkward.
I think the first one where she kind of like the first funny one that they showed of her, or like the inappropriate one where he's like, oh yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
And then after that, it just became a lot more awkward
Yeah.
because it was bad. Like,
What the one picture I was the cheerleader and the
Yeah.
guy sitting.
Yeah.
He's like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
okay, I
Yeah.
can see that.
You
But-
could tell that was totally posed for this
Yeah.
movie.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
the same
She's
age.
the same age. Yeah.
So true. Yeah. Okay. Like to me, like the speaky. I don't know. I like James Marsden where
Yeah.
he very much, he flirted, but he didn't. It wasn't like. He was just kind of drying her out,
Yeah.
trying to get more info because he saw this thing at one wedding and he's like, "What is up with this girl?"
Yeah.
And then he kind of just shoves himself in her life.
Yeah.
She accidentally leaves it, and then he thumbs through it. He's like, "Oh, I know her schedule. I can do this."
Oh yeah, part of
And all
that
that
part of that
stuff.
schedule is when he gives it back to her, right?
Yeah.
And then he rips one page out.
Right. And doesn't she go out into the back? Is that the part where she's?
No, that's
What part
when.
is that?
That's when like her boss and her sister
That's the
meet.
that's the same
that's
party.
That's
Yeah.
the same party though,
That's
right?
the same party.
Okay. Yeah.
Because he shows up after.
Yep.
Because he sees her out there.
Yeah.
Mm,
And I love it.
yeah. Oh yeah, and he gives it back, right?
And 50th wedding anniversary.
30th.
So funny.
That part is believable to me. I can see that happening in New York. They're, you come out a door and there could be something, and she just screams and, oh, congratulations.
So, what is your guys' favorite lines?
Let's see, best lines.
I feel like I just found out. And my favorite love song was written about a sex.
What's about a sandwich?
And then the caulk line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the vomit line too. That one's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Kevin is, or James, when she's showing the dresses and he says, "What the hell is that?" Theme wedding. What was the theme? Humiliation?
She's like Gone with the Wind.
Yep.
3 of them.
3 of them.
And then they go to the wedding pictures
and, like,
of them dressing.
When she's at the Oriental
Oh,
with
yeah.
the Japanese,
And she's kneeling.
and she's kneeling down, and then she stands up, and you see how touched up. I've never been a bridesmaid, but that's me.
That's you.
That's me.
I love the LA wedding where she has that short skirt on and she's just trying to hide behind everyone.
And she's hiding behind the bride.
Or even the horse one where she's on the horse.
Yeah.
The horse just takes her wherever
And
it goes.
she just keeps
turns.
smiling.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
so
that
fun.
was fun.
So, and then the her secretaries.
Oh,
She was a bridesmaid, and it was like
she was the maid of honor at all of these weddings, at the
Yeah.
27 weddings.
Oh yeah. And the
It's
2 weddings in one
awesome.
night. That
Yeah.
scene where
Yeah.
she's in the taxi and I'll pay you $300.
$300.
If
you
you
don't look
in
back.
the mirror. And then
And then at the end, what was it like?
140 or
Yeah.
You know what you did. And then what was funny, close to the end of the movie, where she went to go find Kevin, it was the same cab
Same
driver.
guy.
Hey, I only want dress. Oh, come on.
Right.
yeah. Well, the first time you watch that movie, you're like, what is she doing?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it was funny too, where the cab driver realized she was walking in with different shoes. Wrong shoes.
Wrong shoes.
Starts chucking it, and then one of the bridesmaids, "What's on your head?"
Right.
She had to take off the
Yeah.
thing for the Indian themed wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Jewish Indian themed
Yeah.
wedding.
Yeah.
And then she had to lift up the bride's dress to
At-
go poo.
At both
That-
weddings.
yes.
Both weddings.
And then, you can see how awkward. Yeah, I saw your mom, or I saw your dad.
Yeah.
And that's
So
the thing,
funny.
everyone. When you get married and that dress. is
Oh, they
like
don't
that.
wear a diaper?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
No, it's not. It would stink.
Just don't go number 2. You'll be fine.
Depends works for
It would
old people.
stink.
Depends works for old people.
Says a man who doesn't have kids.
Yep.
So tell me, so Judy Greer, she's
Yes.
the
Yeah.
supporting actress,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Is she the supporting actress for, because she's in 13 Going on 30 too.
Yeah.
She's a good supporting actress.
Yeah,
I
I don't-
believe her as a friend who is crazy, and
Oh, yeah.
she plays a good part.
That was believable with her being crazy.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, I'm not gonna do that. Well, she needs you. Okay, I'll do it, but only for you.
Yeah.
That she's like swearing the whole yoga,
Oh, the yoga scene.
Yes.
They said no.
There wasn't a sign that says
said
no talking.
She's a good supporting actress.
She is.
I've never seen her with as a main character, but a good supporting
Good
actress.
support.
Yeah. So, when what is it? Appreciated. What's the purpose of being appreciated? Nobody's naked.
Alright. Yeah. Jane. George appreciates me for who I am. Casey. What good is it being appreciated if no one is naked? Oh, I love
so funny.
Jane's aunt. Must be so hard to watch your younger sister get married before you. Yes. Then I remembered that I still get to have the hot hate sex with random strangers and I feel so much better.
And then I like how George's younger brother from
Pedro.
Pedro,
Big brother, big
Big
sister.
brother, yeah. Where he gets up, he's like, I wasn't supposed to say this, but I'm starting my own cleaning business. Let me know.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, huh,
Yeah.
That's interesting. So, and then like the weird thing with
Oh yeah.
the sister where she meets Pedro. Hey Pedro, how are you? Like he's speaking English. He's like, hey, how are you doing?
Before. Why are
Yeah.
you doing this?
She just yells at him. It's like, what are you doing?
Dave was talking earlier that the whole thing between Jane and her boss is so weird, right?
It is.
It's
When,
weird.
when they kiss at the end,
Yeah.
and they're just like nothing.
Nothing.
And see, like that. That's the difference between yesterday and this movie.
Yeah.
They had the friend. They're both in this like work environment. Both of these couples,
Yeah.
and the yesterday couple. There is a thing, and Jack is afraid to. He's afraid. You could tell he's afraid. In 27 Dresses, I don't think there was fear. I think there was fear on her side that she would be rejected, but not like he didn't feel it was
Friend
just like
zone.
friend. It
Friend
was a
zone, yeah.
friend zone,
Friend zone.
but it was also like this guy knew what he was doing, how to do everything, so it was her trying to cling on to him.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Like in yesterday, both of them were still young. Jack was struggling. Lily was a teacher.
Yeah.
And it was just like that relationship could still blossom. 27 Dresses relationship where she was infatuated with her boss could never blossom because he just
Yeah.
knew his capabilities, and it's like, I could have had you, I don't want you. He goes in for that kiss, and it's like, oh, I think it was just pure on his, like, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna try it and see. And then when she rejects him, and then he says, oh yeah, to be honest, I didn't feel anything either.
Yeah.
It's just, I can see why they didn't ever get together because they just
They
couldn't.
just couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, they could never do it.
Yep.
So yeah, it was interesting. Very interesting. Friend zone, work friend zone, that sort of stuff.
I was very happy though at the end that they weren't together. That Tess and George weren't together.
Yeah.
But that scene where, oh hi, I'm Tess and I make handbags and I live. Because then you think,
And I'm
oh,
broke.
maybe there's a possibility
Yeah.
here. But it's cool that it's not like a year later they're sitting in the congregation
That's right,
together.
Yeah.
That's just
And I like that too, where it was just like, oh, I wonder what happened to him, because that would be an intriguing thing to say if it said like 5 years later,
Right.
like, oh, they did
Oh,
get
they got
together, or
together.
they didn't get together
Right.
because she was okay with being her, and she found someone that would care for her.
right, and is that the contrast in the movie? You have these opposites that they attract,
Yeah.
and then if you're fake and trying to make it attract, it doesn't really work.
Yeah.
So you got to be true to yourself.
Especially if your sister puts pictures of you eating ribs on your slideshow.
Yeah.
And I love it when he's like, "Weren't you wearing your engagement ring in that?"
That was a
photo?"
long time ago. That was a picture.
So why were you wearing your engagement ring?
Awkward.
But like at
Like
the same
Dixon.
time, I thought like with George, as I was watching the rest of that movie, I thought, and you see more of Tess and you see more of George, that could work out.
Oh yeah.
Because yeah, George may be vegetarian and all that stuff, but
Doesn't
like
matter.
there's something about him deep down that you're similar to Tess.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what it is, but you are similar. Like your character, that what they developed is similar,
Yeah.
and so you guys could get together. Because look at what she's doing. She's putting herself out there, and she's being who she is as a person. and you're being who you are as a person, and it's like there's always things that you can compromise on and that sort of stuff. But you guys know more about marriage than I do.
Now, our next podcast next season is marriage.
Deep Thoughts with David Burgess.
Always
it's gonna
deep
be
thoughts
awesome.
with Dave Burgess.
Woo.
Okay, is there anything else? Best lines or anything?
When the newspaper article comes out,
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
and the sister like ambushes her, Tess ambushes her.
This is about you. He says I'm a bridezilla.
And you're just sitting there. Well, you are.
He wrote it perfectly.
And I think, too, was with the article, the last one where after the scenes and all that stuff, where she's like, I knew my bridesmaids would be all there for me. And, like, all of them show up in their
that's
thing.
that's my favorite part.
Oh,
Good part.
that is so funny. It's
When
like,
it shows all 27 of them.
wearing the dresses that
they were forced
her.
to wear.
It was so awesome. It's like, this is awesome. I really liked it. And so, yeah, I like that part, too.
Benny and the Jets. Love that part. Every time I see him.
Yeah.
Love the song. Love how crazy they are. And then at the restaurant, oh, you're the dude, those people last night. Benny.
Yeah. Okay, is there anything else?
When she's tracking him down, and she jumps on that boat, and the bride's like, "It's you!"
And then, like, that recognition, like, you could totally see her changing it into a business
Yeah.
where it's like she quit George. It's like, I can do this and I can help you. I'm not going to charge, I can really help you put off a wedding. And,
Yeah. So become a wedding planner.
Wedding
Yeah.
planner. Oh, she
Yeah.
did.
And, yeah, it would be awesome. And that would be a better calling for her, anyways.
Yes.
Being that instead of a bridesmaid.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways. But
Okay.
All right.
yeah. Okay, recommendation of how often you should see this movie.
2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years?
Yeah, 2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years. I would give you that. Like, I had to rent this movie because I was trying to
It was on
watch
Netflix.
it.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. And so I was like, oh, so I had to rent it, and it was like, first 45 minutes was tough. But after, I think the dress montage really, like, kicked everything. It was like, okay, this is an okay movie.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, I would say 2 to 3 years or 5,
That's fine.
something like that.
You can do 5.
It was
Yeah,
good.
5's okay.
It was good, though. It was good. I was pleasantly surprised to watch it.
Oh,
Is
good.
this the first time you've seen it?
Yeah, because I
Wow.
think I've watched a little bit before. Or no, I've never watched it because it's never been interesting enough to me.
Oh, that's nice.
And then watching it, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's not bad.
That's good.
That's good. Okay, so please watch the movie. Please listen to us. Please watch us on YouTube. We are on most podcasting formats, so please come and listen to us. And thank you very much for joining us today.
How long was that one?
23.
My boss is gonna start listening again because I'm like, they're not long Star Wars ones. He's like, okay, I'll listen.